It is one of the most hardest things in life to show up for yourself, to keep promises to yourself, to honor your needs when you know it costs you connection, to walk away from what brings pain, even when staying is the easiest thing, to build a life that is soft, true, safe, without needing anyone to hand it out for you. But you can't do that. You can't show up for yourself. You can't put yourself first. You know, if you didn't respect yourself, when you lack self-respect, your default setting becomes self-abandon. You betray your truth to maintain peace. You silence your need to avoid rejections. You shrink to just stay inside of rooms that you have long outgrown. You tell yourself as long as they stay, I'll be okay. But you're not okay. You're breaking your own hearts to keep others close. And let me tell you, that cost, that is steep. Because every time you choose yourself over them, you reinforce that belief that you are not enough, that you are disposable, that your value is only real when someone else sees it. But I want you to know this. You didn't need to break your own heart to feel worthy. When you feel worthless, it is inevitable that you begin to make choices to escape that feeling. You chase attention, validation, distraction, or anything that gives you a temporary sense of being enough. But you know, those moments never last. They come and go like storms, leaving you with more distraction behind. You begin to need more and more from people who give you less and less. You reach for the things that they didn't love you back. You betray yourself again and again because somewhere along the line, you learn that your pain is more tolerable than your loneliness. This is the vicious cycle. You feel worthless, so you settle for less. You settle for less, so you feel worthless. And on it spins until you decide to get off of the wheel. That moment, the moment you choose, everything changes. You can't keep abandoning yourself and expect to feel whole. You abandon yourself every time when you say, I am fine, but from inside, you are just breaking. You abandon yourself when you stay quiet to avoid conflict, even though your truth is begging you to be heard. When you say yes out of guilt but not alignment, you're slowly disappearing from your own life. Self-abandoning doesn't always scream. Sometimes it's subtle. It looks like over-explaining, apologizing for taking up space, pretending something doesn't hurt you to just keep them close. But at what cost? How long will you keep betraying yourself to feel accepted by people who wouldn't even notice that you're hurting? You know you cannot heal what you didn't acknowledge. You can't fix what you refuse to see. Let us start there. Take a moment to deeply reflect on your life. Not that version you wish it was, but that version that you are truly right now. Consider the parts of you that you are avoiding, that feelings that you pushed away, and that patterns you have fallen into without realizing it. Think about it, where you have been settled for less than you deserve, where you have been stayed silent that your voice mattered the most, and where you have been hiding your pain behind a smile to keep the peace. This isn't about blame or judgment. It's about honesty and compassion for yourself. Because to move forward, you must see clearly. What is the price you are paying to keep pretending you are okay? How much longer will you choose comfort for others over freedom for yourself? And if you finally choose to believe in your own value, what kind of life could you create? It is okay if these feel uncomfortable or painful. That discomfort is the sign that you're breaking through to the surface, stepping in awareness. Everything you have used to numb your pain, it all points to the same thing. You are looking for a home outside of yourself. You're chasing the feeling of loved, seen, safe outside of yourself or in the wrong places. And worse, the longer you run, the bigger the emptiness becomes. Here's the truth. You cannot find peace in the places that keep you in pieces. You can't fill your emptiness with another person. You can't fix your wounds with their affection. You are the home you have been looking for. You are the one you have been waiting for. You're the love that you have been seeking. You're that version of yourself that you are avoiding. And no, this isn't a cliche. It is a blueprint. Because when you come home to yourself, when you sit in silence and stay, you start to see what you are running from. Your fear, your grief, your hurt, your rage. You see it, you feel it, and you sit with it. You listen, and slowly, gently, you start to heal. Let's be honest, healing sucks at first. It is not peaceful, it is not calm. It feels like dying because, in a way, it is dead. It is the death of everything that kept you safe but small. The death of that mask that you wore to be accepted. The death of all of that twisted rules you followed to just feel loved. The death of silence when you had something to say. of people pleasing when your heart is screaming to say no, of shrinking yourself to just avoid making others uncomfortable. It is the deed of that girl who apologized for taking up space. It is the deed of that boy who buried his pain behind a smile. The deed of that version of yourself who learned how to disappear without leaving. But listen, that is not the end. This is the transformation. And yes, it hurts. Because you're ripping out lies that felt like home. You're unlearning love that was laced with conditions. You're sitting with the pain instead of running from it. But this pain is not punishment, it is proof. Proof that you're finally waking up, that you're not numb anymore, that you're no longer okay to abandon yourself to just be liked. So, if it hurts, good. Let it. Grieve, rage, sob, shake. But don't run, don't numb, don't go back. Because on the other side of this pain is you, whole, unapologetic, free, alive. And remember this, no more dimming, no more shrinking. It is time to choose you, over and over again, until it no longer feels like rebellion, but like returning home. So why do we do this? Because at some point, someone taught you that your needs weren't important, that your voice was too much, that love must be earned by being easy, quiet, and low maintenance. You learn to perform, not to be. And here's the hard part. You internalize the idea that you're only worthy when you are needed. But that is not the truth. Your worth is not how useful you are to others or what you are doing. Your worth is in your existence. You matter when you rest. You matter when you are not productive. You matter when you're disappointed, even when you say no. Let me tell you, you didn't become this version of yourself by accident. You become who they needed, and that cost more than anyone knows. You become that quiet one, that responsible one, that calm one, the one who never needed much. But behind that performance was someone aching to be seen. You made yourself smaller because their love had limits. You learned to not cry because your pain made them uncomfortable. You buried your anger because expressing it got you punished or ignored. You agreed to everything because disagreement meant withdrawal, or worse, abandonment. That's not love, that is survival. You gave them your silence in exchange for approval. You gave them your compliance in exchange for crumbles of safety. But here's what no one told you. Every time you abandon who you are to become someone else needs, a part of you disappears. And you have done it so many times that you have been forgotten what you actually want. You have forgotten what your own voice sounds like. You have spent years playing rules in other people's stories. And now you don't even know what it means when you write your own. This is cause of being needed, of being admired, of being easy one, of being good one. This is your life now, not a mirror, not a mask, not a reflection. You and your full, whole, messy, magnetic truth. And yes, it will cost you some relationships. And yes, it will confuse people who only know how to love your performance. But hear this, it is not your job to stay small, to shrink, just because of other people, to stay comfortable. You are never too much. You are just in places that they were too small to hold you. You were never unworthy. You were just surrounded by people who didn't know how to love you with conditions. You're not broken. You're rebuilding. And every time you are choosing yourself, your lying breaks. You're creating a home inside of your soul. The one that you can decorate it with freedom, with your own decisions, with your own voice, with your own reality. A place that you can return when the world gets loud. A place that can never be destroyed by other people. Never shames you, never leaves you. So build that home. Build it with softness. Build it with truth. And when people knock at your door, only answer those that they are coming with respect. It is time to write a new story. Time to stop running. Time to stop surviving. It is time to leave. You are your own home. Come back, stay. Being in your own home is safe. It is powerful. It is freedom. It is peaceful.